Good afternoon, my friends. DRBMiller here. How's everybody doing? A very, very bright, sunny, summery afternoon here in London suburbs, and really the weather which you otherwise would adore. You would really want to go out, go to your local park, enjoy the sunshine, sunbathe, maybe have a picnic, and none of this is presently possible due to the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. Sadly, I, just like everyone else, has got to be sitting indoors and indeed enduring the lockdown. It has been like this for 48 days for me already, so it's a lengthy period without sunshine. I can see the light of day out there, I can see sunshine, but I can't feel it because it's not reaching, my area of residence. And what can I say? We all have to endure, we all have to brace up and live it for a long while, up to a point where we get the absolutely ghastly, dreadful, malignant disease properly, and therefore allow us to be eradicating it in full. We are going to win this war. We are winning already quite a few battles. We've seen in London the number of hospital admissions dropped very significantly during the last 10 days, and they are continuing to go down. The death figures are still around the plateau, more or less, but I think the early indications are that they will be also going down. They will not be receding. The deaths will be with us for quite some time. I did see that we have about 3,000 to 4,000 people in intensive care units still, which is deeply worrying, and we really are extremely concerned that some of the people indeed will be suffering tremendously during the period spent there. But some new treatments are applied. We've seen that a specialized equipment that's used for apnea was applied in one of the North England hospitals, and it worked beautifully. It saved many lives, and it has been suggested to the NHS for a more widespread generalized kind of usage elsewhere in other hospitals. So that's a remarkable discovery. The equipment is not very expensive to make, and it's not as complicated to make compared to ventilators and respirators, but it is very effective. Also, it provides a treatment which is providing air to people in normal circumstances who are suffering from apnea. Apnea is a sleep disturbance. Basically, during your mechanical cycle of sleep, there are periods where you stop breathing, which is extremely dangerous, obviously, for the individual concerned. And that device is preventing this. It's providing extra oxygen, and therefore the person would not be experiencing anything that appears to be life-threatening. And apparently, the device has worked very well on COVID-19 patients who were in intensive care, and some of those people were coming to a critical level, and that's really truly wonderful. As you could see, every single day we are learning something new, we are progressing forward, we're discovering how to fight a disease, and obviously this is a very well organized global effort, so the information is shared wherever it comes from, literally from any corner of the globe, and people can easily access it and then share their own approaches and views, which appear to be successful. So literally within the last 4 to 6 weeks, the way the medical community had worked literally just transformed itself, and the expediency, the speed, the dedication, the sacrifice and all else that we've seen from those services globally have been second to none, never ever previously seen in history. And obviously every single person who is participating in this fight needs to be appreciated, needs to be given gratitude. We need to display and appreciate all of the sacrifice and skill, and the fact that they're risking their lives, well, their own lives and the lives of their family members, by being constantly involved with the war against the pandemic. We did see in the UK that quite a few people passed away, sadly, and these people were dedicated NHS workers and carers. My heartfelt sympathies go to everyone who lost a loved one from that community and from any other community, and all of you are in my thoughts and prayers every single day. I really hope that first of all you're not going to catch the virus. Secondly, if you do, that you will have minor symptoms and that you will be able to recover rather fast. And also, I just wish to stress the fact that if you are working in hospital, you may well take all the necessary precautions. But then once you go home, once you use transportation, just make sure that you're adhering to the strictest possible rules as well, because it is likely that the virus was caught elsewhere, not on the hospital grounds, and therefore brought into the facility. And still, all of that is being most thoroughly investigated by the authorities, just to establish how on earth it was possible for that many NHS workers to have contracted the virus and indeed suffered fatally. So all of that will be presented to us in due course. It will take obviously a few weeks and a few months for the stats to be fully examined and presented. You have to appreciate that if you are doing a scientific statistical research, you've got to allow time for the precision and the accuracy, which is usually not the case during the first few weeks. So literally still right at the beginning of our fight against the pandemic. But we are definitely containing the virus through physical distancing, and it's been seen as very successful on the global scale. In Britain, we certainly can see the very tangible results, and that is very, very noble. I thank every member of our community, everyone who is residing on the Isles, to have been adhering to the rules, and that's helped everyone tremendously. And the number of people who are requesting tests had significantly decreased, and you've seen that, for instance, the capacity for tests today is somewhere around 50,000, and there was no need for that many to be administered because there weren't that many people coming in with the symptoms. The novelty we have in the UK is that as from today, everyone who works in the key worker capacity, which includes obviously the entire National Health Service as well as the carers in the care sector, and people who are delivering groceries, emergency services workers, police, ambulance drivers, paramedics, etc. All of them can book an appointment through the government website in order to be tested, and the tests will basically be checking whether people are currently having the virus or whether they had it, and that will be of a tremendous advantage, and these tests will be expanding, and every single person who works in those services will have obviously those provisions given for them to be tested as soon as possible, with the results provided within 24 hours. So that's really quite extraordinary. Obviously, in some cases, the results will be even more immediate if, for instance, there is depending on where they will obviously get the tests. So these are fantastic developments. In addition to that, as you know, yesterday in the United Kingdom, we started with the human trials of one made of chimpanzees, antibodies, I believe, which are related to coronavirus, and I don't think they're specifically related to this strain, but they had turned out to be very, very successful when tested with animals. The other is one of those vaccines against meningitis, and there will be quite a few thousand people involved initially, and we'll see obviously the results within the next few months. So all will be monitored very, very carefully. So really, as you could see, we are progressing forward. We're winning many battles. We're obviously not as yet anywhere near the point where we can say we are winning the war. We are very, very far from that, but we are coming perhaps to a turning point. Maybe we are coming to a Stalingrad of a sort presently, where in fact the tides are turning against the virus, because there is this massive global effort. We all live through social distancing, and we are all in quarantine, and obviously that is helping the scientific community tremendously everywhere, wherever you are. And I think what's really absolutely critical at this moment in time, I really have to stress this a million times, don't think that due to the fact that we are progressing, that this virus is less present in the community. Don't think that you can't catch it, because you will be able to catch it just like at any other time if you come to the area where the contagion had been spreading. So what's absolutely critical is that you have to persevere with these distancing measures, with the measures to which you are isolated, you avoid social contact, perhaps you wear a face mask or some sort of scarf to protect you from whatever you're breathing. And, you know, all of those factors need to be heightened, not lessened, during the time where we are progressing forward, because what we want to see is the prevention of second and third wave of the spread. We want to have our services, the NHS, operating at full capacity, treating everyone regardless of the illness, not just for COVID, but for all other illnesses, without any form of contagion appearing, at such facilities like hospitals and GP practices. And also we want to make sure that we are not spreading the virus anymore, so that we are containing it. So it's very important as we progress forward with the medicine and the approaches that we are also persevering with the effort to kill the virus and its ability to spread in the local community. So that's very, very important. I really think our government's doing a fantastic job in telling the nation that we need to be meeting 5 key factors before we consider any form of relaxation on the lockdown. It's much stricter to what the other countries had proposed, and I think it is much better in that respect. If we can say that we were considering different options initially on how to pursue the fight against the virus, we can certainly say that the approaches applied from the beginning had been both meticulous, consistent and cautious, and therefore we are protecting many, many lives throughout the period. And I can certainly tell you there is a danger for the countries that are relaxing the lockdown early without those kind of key targets met, that the virus will erupt in certain areas again. And you think, well, maybe it's just like a few hundred cases in a village. Well, the fact is there may be 50 or 70 deaths in there, because it's erupted, and the second wave could really bring even greater devastation. So you need to think about every single life, wherever that life is. And I'm personally not agreeable with any form of early relaxation due to economic factors, because we quite frankly don't know. Nobody knows how the world economy is going to be operating after all of this is over. It may not operate at all. We may need to start from scratch. There may be devastating losses. There may be changes of political and economic systems. We can't predict what is to follow. But what we certainly can say at the moment, our prerogative, our priority is saving lives. Because you know what? There's no economy, there's no humanity, there's no enterprise, there's no invention, there's no medicine if there aren't any people out there. So make sure that you know that. I mean, this virus is very, very deadly. It's not as deadly as some other pandemics that occurred in the history, but it does have the capacity to spread uncontrollably fast, much faster than all other viruses, and most significantly, we do not know as to why the strain of the virus is very deadly in some parts of the world compared to the others. And that is still to be determined. We have a very, very thorough investigation and research in the United Kingdom looking at all kinds of factors amongst the people who suffered and people who died in terms of their age, ethnicity, gender, personal background, and weight, for instance, as a very important factor. And then, we'll look at every single possible area that could be playing part in this pandemic, and we'll want to establish exactly as to why these people had a greater propensity to very, very difficult, very dangerous symptoms compared to some others, and that's not known as yet. There's some speculations, but when you don't know something, the worst thing you can do is to speculate. You need to be resorting to empirical data. So that's the situation as it stands today. There'll be another press conference at 5 o'clock. Last night we were all showing our appreciation to key workers and NHS staff by clapping everywhere in the country at 8 o'clock p.m, 2000 hours, and that was incredible, as always. I mean, myself being one of the people who worked in emergency services for many years, and I never ever felt more appreciated, because I felt certainly during the last decade that the overall feeling both in the community and amongst the people running governments was that such services are not necessary. We have too many of them, providing care for people with disabilities, for elderly, particularly people with mental illness, seen as, well, these people just don't want to work, it's not a serious problem. You run various kind of government-run tests to make sure that you label everyone who suffers from depression to be very fit for work, that he is definitely not in any form of danger, that they really need to be working despite the condition which is life-threatening. I mean, honestly, quite frankly, what is depression? Depression is a killer. And why is it that COVID is seen as the priority? Well, we can see why, because it's spreading uncontrollably. But equally, depression could be seen as an illness that destroys many, many individual lives and families. And I just, fought many wars over the years. through many departments and sections of society, just to make sure that people become aware of how serious this is when somebody is suffering from some form of mental difficulty or, emotional problem. Because if not really looked at early, and if not tackled at an earlier stage, like any kind of virus, although they're not similar biologically, the illness or the disturbance will just degenerate. It will progress. It will cause many other problems, and it will not disappear by itself. Depending whether you believe that mental illnesses have biogenetic roots. Evidently, if you have a component that is degenerative and that over a period of time, due to aging process or the development or the atmospheric factors, is just increasing its negativity or the negative influence on the overall body functioning, then evidently you need an early intervention. And if you have it as early as possible, the likelihood of recovery can be very, very good. And therefore, these are very, very important factors. So what I'm experiencing at the moment is the overall change across the board in those and people in a position of authority where they're really fully aware of the fact that these are the services that are absolutely essential and necessary, and we are likely to see an overhaul of the entire health system in most countries in due course, and that's wonderful. This is what I want to see. I want to see all services which are required for people's health, and that includes affiliated services to medical science, psychological services, any form of counseling, any form of so-called unnecessary treatment like the traditional Chinese medicine or acupuncture, or for instance being able to use spa if you are suffering from multiple sclerosis or any other very serious degenerative disease, is something that will need to come on statutory grounds, and therefore people should be able to access those, because guess what? You worked for 30 or 40 years and you invested your life in work and all that you wanted to build and achieve, and therefore when things go seriously wrong, particularly if you are of an advanced age, you want the society or the environment where you contributed so greatly to pay its debt, basically, to provide you with the services which will then help you. And I think this is all fair and square. It's humane, it's ethical, and that is the way it needs to be. So I'm certainly hoping that those kinds of changes will take place in our community, and every single Thursday I feel really greatly appreciated, albeit I'm not presently on the front line. I'm not involved in a hospital or in a setting where we are tackling those people who come in with very severe symptoms, but I'm helping others who are affected by the virus psychologically and emotionally, which I believe is equally important, and we'd like to see a lot more of that emerging once the fear factor subsides and once we have the light at the end of the tunnel, because there will be other consequences: people losing jobs, the economy collapsing, inability to run your own business, debts, poverty, deprivation. There could be all sorts. So I'm hoping, and certainly I will probably get involved professionally on that front, that the government and the charities will establish many different entities that will be helping such people free of charge. And obviously, if you are providing services free of charge, you need to be subsidized by the government, local authority, or the council or somebody else. And I'm really kind of looking forward to those kinds of positive changes, because I personally feel that a lot of pressure could be exercised on the investors. But on the other hand, we need to see how everything really develops as we carry on. It's not possible to say whether the air traffic is going to be able to survive if we still have the entire global fleet basically grounded for the next 3 or 4 months. God knows. These are the mysteries of man, and guess what? They will be resolved according to our own abilities to tackle them, and that is all to be seen. And I certainly look forward towards positive changes, towards something that will give some benefits to humanity. I need to say that also there are some individuals in the politics and coming out, with some statements during the present times that I really have difficulties with, because this is a time to present unity, brothership, and we need to be all together, absolutely united in everything that we do everywhere in order to fight this deadly disease. This is not a joke, and if not properly destroyed, the virus will produce other strains. It may become more deadly, many more lives will be lost, and this is not the time to be blaming or finding excuses or trying to really find an easy and quick way out of the lockdown. Anyone who does that simply is not thinking clearly and is not observing the reality as it stands today. So I really ask the leaders, and particularly people from the investment and business community, to very quickly consider what they're saying, because any pressure exerted on an early lockdown will mean many more hundreds of thousands of deaths worldwide, and there is going to be no industry, no economy, no banking sector if there are no people in it. So let's just make clear that this virus is deadly, and we've seen that the strain of the virus is more deadly in some parts of the world compared to others, and that doesn't mean that the same strain couldn't develop in the areas that have been spared. You know, it can happen if we do not do everything that we are presently doing. We have to carry on with this. So I'll have a break at 5 o'clock when I'm watching the conference, but in the meantime we are back to our Destiny World. Destiny World is presently all about Guardian games. Guardian games are activities which are seasonal. You're collecting bounties and medals and getting some rewards, and all of those are basically located in certain specific areas of activity. So if you were to do story missions, that will not apply. But if you are doing the Crucible, or if you are doing Gambit, or you're doing Forges or Strikes, then you are getting these kinds of rewards. So I think today we'll keep it a variety. I've done PvP in the Crucible now for, well, about 3 days on the trot, and it's been very enjoyable, but there's been a serious technical problem in there with matchmaking, and I felt we were constantly connected to some really very, very fast servers. Therefore, some teams of players had a massive advantage compared to the rest of us, and I raised the question yesterday. I play obviously Destiny very frequently, previously on every single day of the week, and very rarely do I get connected to the UK players. We know full well that Destiny is one of the most popular multiplayers in the United Kingdom, and so many people are doing it on different platforms. But any time I'm doing the Crucible, most frequently I'm playing against people from Italy, Spain and Germany. I mean, sometimes you see that the person from Germany is on a much faster internet and they have a massive advantage, and you leave the game, or you leave the squad after you finish the game, and you go back to the random matchmaking. You think, all right, so there's a few million players around the world, and surely we'll get into some other crew, maybe somebody from Southeast Asia or from North America. Guess what? I'm back with the same lot. Yesterday, it happened at least half a dozen times. I was really trying to get away from some of the guys who were much superior to myself in those teams due to their internet connection and, I guess, experience and everything else. But don't forget, it was so visible yesterday. Cerberus was absolutely deadly to some of the players in the opponent's squad. So like 3 players in there were on a good quality internet, but not on very ultra fast fiber, and they were getting neutralized immediately. Anytime they were hit by Cerberus, they'd be dead. The distance didn't really matter too much. But the other 3, my weapon didn't work at all on distance, at all. They didn't sustain any damage. When they were shooting at myself, I'd be dead instantly, because they were firing, and obviously my path would be somewhere, and they would be, destroying me with ease. And most importantly, if I came to a very, very close proximity, I literally had to be a foot away in order to eliminate them. Otherwise, even on 2 or 3 feet, the whole magazine wouldn't really cause as much damage as expected. And don't forget, Cerberus is an exotic weapon, a 5-barrel weapon, and it's very, very deadly. And it was dreadful, because sometimes you will find the opponent standing at the control point, and I come near them, and literally 2 feet away, and I start firing, and I literally have to empty out the whole magazine of Cerberus, which is, I don't know, how many bullets is it, like 70, 80, 150, and then literally right towards the end they die. And if they were to do similar thing to myself, it was like a bang and I'm gone. So that's frustrating if you do it on a longer stretch, and I guess it's unbelievably frustrating if you're a competitive player, which is what I'm not. But I always say, think about doing a race when you are in your Mini Morris and the other guys in Formula 1. Who's going to win the race? That's the way it works really with these speeds. And not a single developer talks about this when they're introducing PvP. I've not seen one article anywhere published from a developer indicating that these might be some issues. And even when you talk to technical support, when you ask them questions, they're not going to say anything. So if you find any articles coming out of the development teams of any of the blockbusters that are basically telling you you're not going to be succeeding because you're on a poorer quality internet connection, well, forward them to me, because I really like to see them. Right, so what we'll do is we'll do a bit of admin and we'll crack on with some games. I think maybe we'll start with a couple of Crucible matches. We'll go to Strikes and then to Gambit. Maybe we'll do Crucible, Gambit, Strikes. That will be the sequence today, just to keep it a bit diverse. Also for myself, because I can get tired, you know, if I do the same activity again and again. And I think towards the end of the night yesterday, I felt a bit, my mind was no longer in the zone. But you will know full well that if you are doing anything, you will be in the zone for a specific amount of time, and with the best esports competitive gamers, also the best broadcasters and streamers such as Ninja and Shroud, you will find that the broadcasts are usually about between 4 and 5 hours, and they'll talk for 2 hours and they'll have 3 hours of being in the zone. You play football or any other sports, you will never be able to reach that peak that will be consistently extended. The difficulty with PvP frequently is that you will get to a point where you feel you've done well, but you slightly underperformed, so you want another match to increase the ability to do better. And then the other match, due to technical issues like the ones I described, turns out to be maybe less successful. So you're driven to another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then you lose your discipline. The discipline has to be there from the beginning. And that is the area that can be seen as being very similar to gambling or, you know, financial services trading. The best traders that make the biggest money are those people who are absolutely disciplined. Whether they're winning or losing, they do exactly the same thing. And it doesn't matter to them whether they're winning or losing. What matters to them is that degree of discipline to cut out, to make sure that the money is basically protected. You know, if you're losing, you limit your losses. If you're winning, you limit your gains. You will not be waiting for all of those gains to reverse suddenly and therefore get lost. Modesty and moderacy is something that is always greatly appreciated in there. And the same thing applies to gaming. And I think that's the area that's not properly understood. I think this is where people could see it as being very highly addictive. I think it's down to a personality, but certainly there are sometimes some dangers of it. And I think the dangers are particularly in this kind of battle royale deathmatch styled online gaming, which is always PvP. You know, they are competing against other guys, and that is frequently then causing these issues. I know for myself. I mean, I'm very, very disciplined and pay attention to my schedule, when I start, when I end, and you know, everything is like literally polished up on that front. But it can be, if you were having a session like what I had last night, that you just forget about it and you carry on. But then I have really, you know, some serious breaks, and I said to myself, well, no, if I'm ending at this point, then that's what it is. Whatever happened, and that's about it. And then you leave feeling really satisfied. You really kind of control the situation, because the situation itself otherwise will control you, will turn against you. Right, so these are some thoughts about the addictive elements of PvP. Let me see, 956, you can pick up both of these. I think one of the weapons I do have already. I think. We'll have to see whether I do or not. Yes, I do. I knew it. So 955, 956. We really want to increase our Cerberus to maybe 960, 970. Doesn't matter. We'll get there eventually. And here we have, oh, it's 956. Exactly the same, which means this is spare. This is a weapon that we absolutely do not need. Okay. I really love this outfit. I really do. It really is the best Warlock outfit I had in the sequel. Adore it, love it, admire it. And what I do need to see is if I have any... No, I don't. Enhancement Prism. Appearance. Okay, that's not it. No, I'm doing something wrong. I wanted to check this. Curious to see if I can claim one of those mods. No unlocks available at the moment. Alright, so that's fine. We are clear about this. I've done this admin yesterday, so really it is not necessary to do anything about it, but what is really necessary is this. Talk to Ava. Pick up some bounties. Daybreak.
Nice.
So that is Daybreak at long range. And then we have additional bounties.
Why not?
Okay, so what's that one? Void melee. Don't know what I can acquire that.
I could get you another if you like. I could get you another if you like. It's you. It's you.
So I got all of these, right, so that's something new. I wasn't able to do that yesterday. So let us see. We have destination gold. Defeat combatants on any destination. Raids, strikes. Quest missions do not contribute. Raids, strikes and quest. Defeat combatants on any destination. Raids, strikes and quest missions. So that must be Gambit, Crucible. Destination silver. Okay, so they tweaked it, I think. They must have tweaked it because I couldn't get them yesterday. It was asking me to be picking up the points, but I've got them all here, so that's fine. As you could see in here, I collected 4 points. Well, I missed and okay. So that's, I picked them all up. Am I being given any other reward?
Let's get started.
Thank you. Sage Rivalry Bond. Okay, I've got that one.
Good luck, Guardian.
Wearing it. Yeah, the medals need to be completed. Okay.
Guardian, please.
So what we are going to do is very simple.
The Crucible beckons, Guardian. Will you answer? I know you'll use this well.
We're doing loads of bounties yesterday, so that's the reason as to why I can't really pick them up. Okay. Alright, so the time's ready for us to, let's see, quests. To somewhat refresh these. There we are. Okay, so seasonal. You see? See on the laurels. Wait a minute, bounty's gold. Yeah, there was a problem yesterday, I've got to say, and that issue has been raised by PC Gamer. The reviewer said he played the whole night Guardian games and he felt that certain maps and certain areas were not getting registered in terms of how many laurels he picked up. And I thought that's strange because I was picking up laurels and some of them registered, but the actual percentages seemed like really low. But yesterday I specifically kind of examined that entire procedure and I did see that particularly in the Crucible on some maps I'd be collecting like 20-30 laurels, maybe 40, and none of them registered at all. So if you think about all the matches I played yesterday, I think I started the day with 46, like 46%, and goodness knows how many laurels I collected, and it's gone like up by 4%. I don't think we need to have like 50,000 of laurels. So there is something technically wrong, and I'll see whether this works better because I think they tweaked it a bit, and Didn't double check Bungie's news today to see whether they described any changes, but I did see some complaints on Twitter and various other forums, so that indeed was of concern. Okay, so the other thing I need to see is my kit, whether there is a capacity to enhance any of those mods. Not enough energy. Enhancement prism. Again, we'll see whether I can purchase that from our friend there. Banshee. So we've got this material, and I need to see what the best way to use it really would be. So let me see, in here we'll have I'm into Ritual Mask. Not enough energy. Enhanced scatter projectile targeting. Greatly improved target acquisition. That's been really good. That really is. That's discipline mod we have here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it's like really slow. I'm used to. Okay. Let's see for the rest of them. Probably the same problem because we have shield break, grenade throw distance, fair enough. Energy boost, reload speed, increase discipline. Okay, so that's all good. And then we'll look at chest piece, shield break, unflinching automatic rifle, light arms reserves. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Unflinching. No.
There's still fighting left to do, Guardians. Get to work.
If my function is to serve the Vanguard, how better than to guide Guardians? My lord, the Crucible arenas are holding.
Fusion of reserves. I think this one probably is the best.
Red Jack. Wish I could be in the fight.
And then what's the first one? Solar resistance. Okay, so that's fine. We've got all of that.
I don't care that you
959.
have strikes to get to. Worry about the
Module.
fight in front of you.
Quite important to customize your characters, remember that.
If my function is to serve the Vanguard, how
Not
better than
enough
to guide
energy.
Guardians?
Okay, so there's nothing I can do in there. And then for the last one, Sage Rivalry Bond. Same
Plenty of
problem.
hostiles left to fight,
No,
Guardians.
so we really
It's them or
increased
us.
everything here to the maximum. And I think that is sniper rifle, rocket launcher. Fair enough, we can do that. Okay, so that's all done. So we are ready, and I'm quite curious to see how the medals would work, because finally I was able to acquire them, which was not happening yesterday. And off we go to the Crucible.
Help us push back.
And of course we'll do control, which is what really works the best for me in the PvP. So let's crack on with some control in the Crucible Destiny 2. This is Guardian Games events, of course. There we are, progressing to our first match. Definitely look forward to it. Said it many times, I much prefer the Crucible here in the sequel. I really do not like the way the Crucible operates in Destiny 1. Primarily, this is to do with my internet connection. But on the other hand, they're doing any more maintenance or anything in there, and there are lots of technical problems in addition to the basics. I much prefer these maps and the way things work here in the Crucible for Destiny 2, in Destiny 2 I should say. Okay, loading is a bit faster than yesterday as well, so that's a relief.
Control. Take those zones, Guardian. Victory demands it.
Yeah, the picture was, appearing for such a short period of time. That's also troubling. Okay.
Enemy claimed Zone C. You captured Zone A. Enemy claimed Zone B.
You can see again we are being thrown into those European servers, and there's some Spanish and Italian players straight away. So I'm expecting issues. Oh, I did get him. Okay, that's why he wasn't there anymore. So Amazing. Okay. Should be able to pick up laurels from him, shouldn't I? Rift is certainly very useful. Oh, he's behind me. No.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
What was this? Sweet business. I don't think I even picked up this weapon. I guess it's rather sweet for him. He's able to chew them up.
Zone A lost.
Laggy. Who was it there? I can't see. Khalid. Probably from France. Didn't capture many zones. Which is what I need to be doing. Keep forgetting. Let's have repetition weapons too slow.
Zone C captured. You have advantage.
Yeah, you could tell that he was much faster than me, couldn't you? Alright, so we are catching up. It's not too bad. Because we need to capture all the zones, otherwise we lose the game. Come my way here. Where is it? I don't see him. Should have been dead really. I hit with such close range. Server problems yet again. So annoying.
Zone C lost. Zone A captured. You have advantage.
We caught up.
Gained the lead.
So this is awesome.
Zone B lost.
Look at this. Khalid.
They have the
When
lead.
Berserkers used his Sentinel shield. It's one thing I didn't check, you know, and that was my bounties. Need to do that in a minute. When we are having a bit of respite, then I'll check my
5 minutes.
Okay, we're losing at the moment. What is he doing in there? Having a cup of tea? That's not team spirit, is it?
Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours.
That didn't work there. That super doesn't work too well, I have to admit. And I've noticed that for some of the opponents, their super is protecting them 100%. And with me, that's not the case. It's probably to do with my broadband speed more than anything else, because I should be protected.
Zone A lost.
Tethered me. Did you see that?
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Zone A. catch up. We have 3 minutes. So let's go.
You captured Zone A. Zone advantage
Okay.
is yours. Zone C lost. Three minutes remaining. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Oh, he's good. Well, maybe, but we need to capture zones. This is just why the other team's winning, because we are not capturing zones. Well, this was a bit insane. That was good.
Gains the lead.
That was good.
Your legend rose.
5-time streak.
1 minute.
I'm doing
Time to
something
prove
good
yourself.
today. Okay, so that's very close. We need to capture the zone and eliminate one or two of them. Come on, quick. Go to the zone. They're unlikely
30
to
seconds
be able
remaining.
to get us. So that's good.
Zone A lost.
Where is it?
10 seconds. Sound tactics bring victory.
There we are. 1-2-2, 1-1-2. So that was quite closely contested.
You fight like a demon for these zones. Bring me your friends. I need more like
17.
you.
No, not too bad. Fela Kuti. Probably remember Fela Kuti was a musician. We'll have another match. We started with a bang. It was really good. I must say I'm astonished by how quiet my channel actually has become recently. We had such a busy channel previously. I don't know whether people migrated from Destiny to other games or what, but Destiny was buzzing with energy, and I wonder what people are playing. Probably Warzone. Call of Duty Warzone is a very, very popular game, but it appeals to everyone who is into PvP and, you know, likes eliminating those live opponents. So that is definitely one of the possibilities. On the other hand, I'm surprised to hear that lots of our veterans had cold feet on the recent season. They're not happy with what's offered by Bungie, and that's obviously of major concern. Wormhaven. Loading for a while yet again. It was loading a bit faster early on.
Control.
You know what? I forgot to check my bounties. Forgot to check my bounties. This one I completed. Warlock Slayer, defeat Warlock opponents.
I know you can fight.
Solid grenades that perform so badly. Really bad.
Enemy claimed Zone C. Zone A captured. You captured Zone B. You have zone advantage.
Oh, it's gonna be chasing me.
You're in the lead.
Well, that's ridiculous. Oh, he's again. You see, all the time we are being brought into the same crew. All the time. That's just so annoying, because you won't have that degree of diversity. Douglas, my friend, I'm lagging, and that's the reason as to why you are dead. Oh, he killed him, okay. Where's Sakapupu? I've not seen Sakapupu this week, and he usually would be popping in this hour, sort of in the afternoon.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. 2 for 1. Together as one. I love it.
Where was he? Latin. He's on a very, very fast connection. He's been hitting my path.
Keep the pressure on.
So I was quite high up. He couldn't see me from that, I think.
Zone B lost.
Nothing.
Zone B captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. Your advantage grows.
Okay, we are
Stay
doing
strong.
alright.
Zone C lost. You captured Zone C. Power
Yeah,
play.
actually this team's
Keep the
doing well.
pressure on.
We're doing well because everybody knows what they're doing.
Zone A lost.
You can see me in there. Oh,
Zone B
really?
lost.
When you have an opponent coming at you and engaging one of your buddies, then just make sure you're waiting for him to be doing his reload and then hit him as hard as possible, because that is where he's going to be at his most vulnerable. One of mine. Why was that? Couldn't tell he was one of mine. It's not really cool, is it? Two of them in there. What's the weapon? Hard light. I think the other guy had some pinnacle weapon I never heard of. And I can't really remember what it was called. Oh, no, Sweet Business, I know. Sweet Business it was. No doubt.
That shut them down.
Yeah. Douglas is on a faster internet than me, so that lag's killing me and killing him too. So there you go. All square, really.
5 minutes remaining. Your opponents are gaining on you.
He came from behind. I thought so. Never mind. We are winning. 5 minutes to go to keep up with the good work. Did you not see in here? I didn't pick up a single laurel. So this map is giving us no laurels. None.
They've taken your lead. Get it back. Zone C lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back. Zone A captured.
Yeah, he's a much faster internet. You could see like 2 feet away from him, hitting him with a full magazine, and he wasn't gone. Yeah, when you do lots of matches, you will spot that instantly, you know? That's just a fact. Oh, we've gone down. We're losing, I didn't see. That's ridiculous, we need to catch up. You see this hitting my path? I was I was well hidden, and the path basically gave me away because of that stupid lag. I mean, I really, a bit like Sakapupu, you know, I try to master my abilities and gameplay according to the lag, and it actually makes you a really good player in the Crucible, but it does take a while to master it, and it does require a lot of patience. So we are losing again. I know why, because we are not capturing zones. That's what it is. 3 of them. Come on, capture another zone. Come on.
Zone C lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back.
No, we lost the game.
Are pulling away. Drag them back.
We lost the game. Douglas, you paid the price, my son.
Zone C captured.
The only reason for that was that he was standing. He was the hopping and hammer, so well, we've lost because we didn't capture many enough zones. It's as simple as that. As you could see, I've done my bits there, but my friend's not really.
Zone A captured. You have zone advantage. Zone C lost. Only 1 minute left. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Right.
30 seconds.
That Estra saying, it's just the same like with Douglas.
This time.
Not a single laurel. Not a single laurel. Right.
This war is for territory. One that you can win. Fight another.
Yeah, I didn't capture too many zones either. I shouldn't really buck at my friends because we lost because we weren't capturing many enough zones. But mind you, the other team didn't capture that many. 25, that is not too bad. I'm happy with my 25. But I need to see whether my super is appropriately equipped, because if it isn't, then my bounties are not going to be completed. So I better double check. I think I completed something, you know? Medal redeemed. Crucible, bronze. Oh, I see. So that's completed. Okay. Okay, we'll redeem that later. We'll just try to. Wondering what this was. Bronze, silver, bronze. Okay. Four bounties completed. Yeah. Slow coming. Super 14 out of 20. Laurels 47. Solar. So what's the rest? Okay, redeeming medals. Okay. What's that? Void Walker. Arc. Arc. Defeat targets at daybreak at long range. Defeated Guardians grant the most efficient. Well, we'll carry on because these ones are solar supers and solar grenades. Laurels 47. Generate laurels by landing final blows with supers, grenades, and charged melee abilities. I want to see them in the triumphs. 21%. That's ridiculous. This is a lengthy grind and you get just like a one shader.
Control.
So the reward's not particularly exciting, really. your team.
No zones means no victory.
I think we'll do a bit of Gambit in a minute.
Crush your enemies. You captured Zone C. Enemy claimed Zone A.
There he is.
Lost the lead.
Estra again. He's again in the opposing team, and he's like on some super fast internet.
Enemy claimed Zone B.
It's so hard to eliminate that guy. Where's it gone? Brr. This was close.
Zone A captured. You have advantage.
God, that hard light seems to be so effective. I need to find out how to get that hard light.
Zone
Look at that.
B captured.
Looking
Power
back.
play. Keep the pressure on. Zone A lost.
Lag killed you, my friend. Lag. Remember that. Because you're hitting my path and I'm hitting you.
You're in the lead. Zone B
He got
lost.
me again. Alright. Come on, let's win this one. We are in a good spot.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage.
Right. Survived. Yeah, it's his internet, unfortunately, yet again. Because, you know, I'm dying as they're hitting my path. So when I jump anywhere, going back 2 seconds or second and a half, that gets hit where I was, is death. Shadow shot. Oh, at least I picked up a laurel. A lot of people are complaining about Guardian games being a bit kind of mundane. We've done it all before, but I think it is the pace which is kind of significant. Yeah, he was not watching his radar.
5 minutes. captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone C lost.
Loads of hunters in here. Yeah, that guy's already killed me a few times. This is like close.
Zone A lost. Your enemy has a power play. You captured Zone C.
Again the same person, meal. Well, he's having a meal and a cup of tea by the looks of it.
Zone A captured. You have zone advantage.
Where is it gone?
Zone C lost.
At least I managed to get him. But it's the lag that killed me. Okay, we are narrowly, very, very narrowly winning.
3 minutes remaining. Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Where is he? Picking up
Zone A lost.
some ammunition. Where is he? Oh, there. Okay.
Zone C lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back.
We need to get at least 1 or 2 zones there.
Zone B captured. Zone A captured. You have advantage. Zone B lost. You captured Zone C. You have advantage. Double down. Zone A lost.
Oh, this is close.
Zone C lost. Your enemy has a power play.
Where's it gone?
1 minute. Time to prove yourself. Now you're fighting with heart, Guardian. Fight on. They've taken the lead. You could turn this tide.
I can't believe they've taken a lead. Honestly, we were winning so comfortably.
Zone B captured. Rise from this loss and fight again.
Boo.
Not this time.
Not this
Controlling
time.
those zones is the only path to victory.
Yeah, it's the zones that killed us. Okay. I'm excelling. 25 kills on average. I'm happy. Looks like there are quite a few laggy players in the arena. But what's uncanny is in the opposing team there were 2 people who went ultra fast fiber and then the others were on broadband. And you can tell through the speed, by the speed to which they were dying, you really can tell. That meal guy was taking the whole magazine of Cerberus and he didn't die. And then the other guys were just like really quickly done. As long as we have 4 other guys in there that are on broadband, it's alright. But if there's like 4 guys who are on ultra fast fiber, then we really don't have any business in there at all. Yeah, open director. I need to go back to the tower. Let me see what I picked up in there, if anything. Crucible gold. Crucible bronze. Hang on. Track. Medal redeemed. Medal redeemed. Gold and bronze we got here. Silver. Silver we still didn't get. Okay. Bounties gold. Medal redeemed. What's this? Combatants. No, I didn't see my bounties. 4 out of 10. 47. It's really slow coming. Really slow coming. Okay, let me see what this will mean once we redeem medals. We have 2 medals to redeem, so that's really exciting. These are my first 2 medals in Guardian games ever that I'm redeeming. And the way you do it, you go to that elevated landing and then you redeem them from those hubs there. So let's see how this is going to work. There we are. Back to the tower.
Don't forget. Wait. What was it?
It is.
That is a track.
Want to take a look, Guardian? Eververse has a lot to offer.
Featured. loads of these to be purchased. It's funny, you know, because they said in September that they will completely do away with monetary elements of Eververse store, but they've gone back to it. So I'm quite certain that this might be generating some degree of displeasure amongst the fans. But personally, I feel it's alright if they keep this optional, but we should be able to purchase everything with in-game currency. So if you work hard, you can purchase everything through in-game currency. Deposit Guardian Games medals. So this is the first one that we are going to be having. Okay. Looks like I deposited all of them at once. But then on the other hand, we didn't really get anything much in terms of rewards, so that's maybe as to why people are complaining. We got some blue items. I mean, who on earth wants blue items in their as rewards? This is like literally doing it on the cheap. Right?
I missed you all so much.
And also well below our rank. So the medals are giving us nothing. Well, that will be definitely facing a lot of criticism from many hardcore gamers that like lengthy grinds, but you know, any lengthy grinds are there to be providing us with some better rewards. Look at this. Okay, let's see this. 58. Need to upgrade module. Better go and buy it.
Any questions, dear?
None. Madam, no questions at all whatsoever.
What do you think?
Yeah, these ones are quite hard to get, enhancement cores, and that's the reasons why everybody told me don't really infuse too frequently. But then on the other hand, I can be just waiting until Kingdom comes, you know? So waiting for a bit more of here and there, but then eventually I don't really infuse, so no. Oh, it's a good shot, good screenshot, pretty picture. So I will infuse because I want my Cerberus to be as mighty as possible. Come on, Lloyd. There we are. And then we'll go to 958, I think, right? Yep, that's it. Oh, didn't see something else.
Making a purchase, or are you just here to chat?
637 opponents defeated.
The Guardian games
Okay.
to life. Even that fellow who calls himself the Drifter.
Okay, so that's cool. And then I think this one we'll get rid of. Do you have something for me, Guardian? No, not really. Triumphs. 21%. Okay. Heavy rocket launchers. This one, I guess.
This war is a complicated algorithm, to be certain.
Flare. Shaders.
Making a purchase, or are you just here to chat?
Coastal suede. Well, they really excel with those designs. They're just absolutely wonderful. You can have so many. Season 1? What's that? Oh, it's one of the worst, is it?
Decryption can break your heart sometimes.
Got shells. Exotics. Yeah, I did pick up one of these Starlight Protocol. Picked it up yesterday. That was a good reward though, I thought. Head. So these are the mods. And then chest.
Guardian, what puzzles do you bear?
Legs.
Even with the most difficult ciphers, all that is required is the right key.
Yep, the right key is very important. Mods for general weaponry. Okay, excuse me. So we've got everything sorted in
Making a
here.
purchase, or are you just here to chat? There's a handsome trophy for
Exotic
whoever
trophies.
wins the games. I've seen it myself.
The world's changing, Guardian. You must
Need to explore this. I've not really been looking at this that much. And we have these badges and hang on, what's there for Gambit? I see, so we got the list here of the items that we can pick up from there. Okay, so that's good. So collections are sorted, triumphs are sorted, character is sorted, all is sorted. Okay,
the schematics for this
and we can just carry on with some more action, I think,
Any questions, dear?
unless there are any other people who want to talk to us.
decryption can break your heart sometimes.
To be frank, I can certainly pick up a bounty or two from Shax
Crucible?
if
Why
he's
can't
offering
those rookies
something.
in the Crucible be more like you? I know you'll use this well.
Okay.
On your way, Guardian.
How many bounties do I have there?
What news from the war front?
Roll
Crucible gets
components,
harsher every day. It
solar,
has to. I make
sidearm,
sure of it.
grenade. Okay. It's possible that we can be picking up those medals per day and then redoing the whole thing. Well, I guess it's fun for a few days, but if there isn't anything else, which is like a greater pinnacle weapon reward or something, then it becomes a bit mundane. Because that's one of the things that people liked about Destiny 1, the original game. For some very lengthy grinds you were really heavily rewarded and you were able to get, and here it is more diverse, it's easier to get exotics, and I think hardcore gamers will not like it, that's the fact, because you want to have the element of hard work in order to be properly rewarded. And purely in terms of that logic, if you are, for instance, doing lengthy grinds, collecting pinnacle weapons, using them against your opponents, you will have some degree of prevalence, and it's all in game, it's all the result of your hard work. And in here it looks like some of the things are
But the Red Legion's not gone.
kind of easy to get, and that itself is then making it significantly different in terms of the actual gameplay. But, you know, keeping everything the same is definitely not a good idea. And what I personally would like to see is a full remaster of Destiny, the collection, and then we will probably have some additions and inclusions in that. So just I want to see something just remembered. We were to look at
Red Jackson,
Crucible.
this is bar site 9940 of the Vanguard. Hold fast. I admire your work, Guardian. You're an artist.
So that's not here, okay.
Our work is unfinished, Guardian.
Gambit
What can I
Prime, Gambit. The Reckoning. Maybe we can do that sometime, huh?
You're doing your part out there, I hope.
Vanguard.
But the Crucible always needs more fighters.
Nightfall, the Ordeal. Nightfall. Vanguard. Okay.
I know you're busy, Guardian, but the Crucible needs
Red Legion
veterans
versus
now
Red
more
Jackson.
than ever.
Wish I could be in the fight.
Tangle Shore, Dreaming City, Moon, Nessus. Let me just think for a second.
I'm hungry for news, Guardian.
There we are. Back to the Crucible. We'll do maybe 1 or 2 matches and then we'll do a bit of Gambit. And then with some strikes. I want to see how this would work really as part of Guardian games. I still didn't really establish the cut-off date. It's probably a month, usually, the season events that Ava offers are lasting 28 days. So that's probably what we'll have here with Guardian games as well. But maybe there is a need for, you know, greater variety, I don't know. Because I'm thinking now for, what is it, 2nd, 3rd, 4th day running. And I'm a bit staggered by how hard it is to get the laurels. And mesmerized as to why they're not registering on some of the maps, or we're not picking up any in there. And also the rewards I had for medals were just, quite frankly, terrible. Nothing of any sort of use or assistance. So what was I doing all this for? I thought that medals would provide us with something quite extra. I mean, some towards pinnacle weapons or, you know, extra quests. But it doesn't seem to be giving us that. Trials of Osiris I need to do as well. I think at the moment trials may not be accessible. I couldn't find them anywhere on the map. Alright, so let's see. We'll crack on with another match. Legion's Gulch.
Control.
It looks like I'm going to be brought into somebody else's game. And if that's the case, I'm departing immediately.
Take those zones, Guardian. Victory demands.
Oh no! Okay, I was wrong.
Enemy claimed Zone C. You captured Zone A. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
I can't believe that they're all there carrying together and none of them took damage. That's beyond ridiculous, honestly. It's just crazy. Dire Promise, that must be also some top-notch weapons. A weapon. Can't talk anymore. What is going on?
Zone advantage is yours. Zone A lost. Lead is lost, but the battle is still close.
Rossa taking so long to eliminate.
Zone A captured. It's a power play. Get those zones back.
No, this was a mistake from my end. This was definitely the wrong thing to do.
Zone C captured. You have advantage.
And why is it that didn't register for me? Didn't go.
Zone A lost. Zone C lost. Power play. Enemy has your zone.
Hit my path. Hitting my path is so incredibly annoying, because what happens is wherever you were for about a second and a half or 2 seconds,
Zone A captured.
one's hit causes that instant death.
Zone C captured. You have advantage. Zone A lost.
Why was it that I didn't see him?
Zone C lost. Power play.
How was this
Enemy
possible?
has your zones. The enemy has gained ground, but
Maybe
it's
he
not over.
went invisible, so...
Zone C
So we are
captured.
losing.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Okay, he was done. Right, what's going on? Why are you firing at me?
Zone B lost. You captured Zone A. 5 minutes. Zone C lost. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
That Nahel is just invincible. Did you not see? This is incredible. I've had already a couple of brushes with him, and
Zone A lost. You captured Zone C. You have zone advantage.
what on earth was that? Arc staff.
Zone C lost.
It looks like he might be able to catch up, but Rosa.
Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone B lost.
It's not chasing him, that's surprising.
That shut them down. 3 minutes. Zone C lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back.
At least my grenade killed him. We're losing again. Well, some really hot players in this team as well, needs to be said. Lag. Could tell that dreadful lag in there.
You captured Zone C. You have advantage.
Yeah, and we're losing.
What can stop you if you fight together? Nothing. Zone C lost. Zone B lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back. Zone A captured. Your moments of clarity are weapons, Warlock. You captured Zone C. 1 minute left.
That's going to be hard. That is going to be hard. He's not taking that. Nahal's got the unbelievable ping. Just not taking damage at all.
30 seconds remaining.
He's not able to eliminate him in once. That Nahal.
10 seconds.
Okay, we're actually putting up a stiff fight, so that's pretty good.
Rise from this loss and fight again.
Okay. A noble
You eat monsters for
defeat.
breakfast. you can win a battle for territory.
26.
Again.
Okay, that's good. Look, this guy eliminated 26 opponents and didn't capture one zone. That's the reason as to why we lost. Not capturing zones is a loss. Oh well, some will, some won't. So what next?
Control.
There we are, another match. You can hear the birds
Take
singing
those
in there.
zones, Guardian.
So that's
Victory
pretty
demands
good.
it.
Why are you firing? There's no enemy in there.
You captured Zone C. Enemy claimed Zone A.
Jade Rabbit automated, that's pretty good.
Zone B captured. You have advantage. Zone C lost. You captured Zone A. Zone advantage is yours.
I didn't see him, to be frank. He was
Zone B lost.
hiding behind a wall. Several. Love that. That's a bit
Zone B
annoying.
captured. You have zone advantage.
One of them should have gone, or maybe he was gone.
Zone A lost.
How long does it take
Zone
for
C
him to go
captured.
down?
You have advantage.
Ludicrous. I don't believe that all 6 of them are standing next to one another. That's just ridiculous. Couldn't survive because of that dreadful
Your
lag.
advantage grows. Stay strong. Zone B lost. You captured Zone A. Zone advantage is yours. Zone C lost. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone B lost.
Okay. Yeah, these are like really much better. Actually, what I'll do is I'll change my super, and I'm not happy with these grenades, gotta admit. They're not doing anything much.
Zone C captured. You have zone advantage. Five minutes remaining. You captured Zone B. Power play. Keep the pressure on.
I'm not doing too well in here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I know what it is actually. I can see the vast majority of those guys are like Italy
You're
and...
breaking them.
But my team's winning, so that's alright. It just seems like several are quite hard to kill.
Zone B lost.
Where is he? I did kill him, okay.
Zone B captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on.
What was that? Big Ben.
Zone C lost. You're winning. Stay strong. Sound tactics bring victory.
Okay. Can't complain if that's the case. Trinity Ghoul I got. So that's a good reward. Yeah, I didn't do too well in there. But we had some absolutely top-notch cracking players in there, as you've seen. So that's the reason as to why we won everything. Very good, much appreciated. And let me see, what is the reward that I picked up? Trinity Ghoul combat bow. I don't really use bows much. Seen some people deploying them, but I'm not that keen, I have to admit. I don't know what you can do with that sort of bow there in the Crucible. Nothing. I guess it's a nice addition to the armory if you're looking at PvE matches, and then sometimes it will work quite well against certain enemies. I think particularly if you've redone certain activities several times, you know exactly what you can use on a particular type of enemy, so that will give you a lot of reward. Alright, what is giving me a lot of reward is cracking on here with the Crucible, collecting scores and enjoying my matches. So far it's been absolutely brilliant today. No major glitches compared to yesterday. Loading wasn't that extensive, and this matchmaking is, well, I should have said it earlier, shouldn't I? Because I said there'd be no glitches, and this is a glitch. This is a glitch because I was being brought into somebody else's game, and I don't want to do that.
Lost, and the battle is still close.
I want to be starting from the beginning, because these matches have no use if you are brought in towards the end. They're just a complete waste of time. Alright. Quarantine day number, I think it's 48. What is the date today? I'll work out exactly how many days I've been in quarantine. 24th of April. Okay, so that would be, let me see, 3rd to 3rd would be 28 days. 49. Day number 49, in fact. 49 days in self-isolation, no sunshine, no daylight. Feels like a sentence for certain, but this is the only way to do it at the moment. Wait until everything goes away, till we have vaccine and medication, then we'll go back to normal. But what I really do miss the most is swimming. I go swimming 4 to 5 times a week, and not having it now for, what is it, the 2nd full month running has been unbearable. Really physically, I mean, I exercise every day and do some walking in the middle of the night in my local nature reserve, but definitely missing my regular swims, and you can really tell physically that you get stiffer. The circulation is not as good. Swimming does wonders for me. My favorite physical activity, in fact, it has been already for many years. I actually survived a very nasty virus similar to COVID in 2007 I should say, and it did leave me with some severe tissue damage. I had to really battle against that for a good 6 years. So I know very well what dreadful viruses can do to people, because for whatever reason the general assumption is anything which is caught through a virus could be easily eradicated with medication, but people forget that there are viruses that are extremely deadly or indeed cause severe tissue damage or any other damage to people's organs. So one has to be very, very aware of the fact that even when COVID disappears, or we win old and new, and therefore we need to adhere to certain hygiene and procedures in order to minimize its access to our body. So very important to remember, and I'm extremely cautious and careful ever since I survived that other virus, because it left me with serious consequences, serious health issues, and out of the blue, and I caught it as I was airborne, on a flight. Basically, flying and using planes is a very, very high risk when it comes to transmission of any kind of virus.
Enemy claimed Zone A. You captured Zone B. Zone C captured. You have zone advantage.
Again, back to those German servers by the looks of it.
Zone B lost.
I didn't see that. Oh, the other person backed him.
You have advantage.
Okay.
You're in the lead.
Breakneck seems to be working well there. Okay. Looks like we're winning.
Zone B lost.
Unfortunately, I always have to walk towards the opponent like this, in order to eliminate them, and that makes me really exposed. Otherwise my hits don't register properly and I'm achieving nothing.
Zone B lost. They've taken the lead. You can turn this tide. Zone C lost. Your enemy has a power play. Zone C captured. You captured Zone A. You have zone advantage.
You see that Kleiner Mikkel? He's probably 2 seconds faster than me. 1.5 seconds for certain. He's taking no damage. So when I'm actually playing against him, I'm not going to have much joy here, that's for certain. You can see they're turning tables. Well, they have massive advantage with about 2 players on that sort of speed in there.
Zone B captured. You captured Zone A. You have zone advantage.
I'm not taking damage. There you go. Doing everything possible, but
Zone B lost.
where was he? I didn't see him.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage. Zone A lost. You captured Zone C. You have advantage. Zone B lost. 5 minutes. Zone C lost. Your enemy has a power play. You captured Zone A. Zone B captured. You have advantage.
Klein Mikkel was so hard to kill. Did you see this? I mean, he was taking hardly any damage. The whole magazine in his back from close range.
Zone A lost.
Yeah, it's narrow.
You captured Zone C. You have advantage. Zone B lost. Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Where's it gone?
You captured Zone B. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold them.
Where's it gone?
3 minutes. You're evenly matched. Zone C lost. Zone C captured. That's a power play. You
Oh, he
took
captured
them.
it, okay.
Now hold them. Zone A lost. You've gained the lead.
Oh, that's good.
Zone B lost.
What, like 2 or 3 of them? That's too bad. It's narrowly contested. We need to capture zones and eliminate the enemy. Need to be winning.
Lead is lost, but the battle is still close.
Oh, he didn't really.
Zone C lost. Your enemy has a power
What was
play.
that and where was that?
Zone A captured. Your opponents have built a lead. Destroy it.
Yeah, we lost it
1
again.
minute left.
Alright. No big deal. 3 players in there I can't
Zone
kill.
A lost. Power play. Enemy has your zones. Zone C captured. You captured Zone B. Zone advantage is yours. You've got 30 seconds. Zone C lost.
No, there's nothing we can do. Just pathway maybe. All 4 of them, well 1 of them actually, all 3 of
10
them
seconds.
are impossible to kill for me. 1 is lagging a bit, but the rest is just ultra fast.
Rise from this loss and fight again.
Yeah, it's reasonably tight,
You've
but
got to hold those zones.
not quite.
Maybe next time, Guardian.
See, I captured, we were capturing quite a few zones, but they excelled. That Klein Mikkel was impossible to kill for me, honestly. He was just invincible. Thanks to his internet speeds, he was taking 2 lots of my Cerberus, even from a very, very close range, so that's not very good. There we are, another match. It's funny because I think as they launched Shadowkeep, the light levels were increasing massively and rapidly, and they tweaked it so it's not as easy as it was then. So I can see that there are people with 1020, 1030, 40, and I'm going up the ladder like a turtle, really, really, really slowly. Ah. There we are, my friends. We are cracking on with another match of Crucible, and that's all together part of our Guardian games here in Destiny 2. It's been lots of good fun so far. I'm enjoying it. I discovered some pluses and minuses in Guardian games.
Control.
And I was a bit disappointed, I have to say, after banking some of the medals to discover that we're receiving insignificant rewards like blue armor and weaponry. That seemed very, very
No zones means no
mundane.
victory. Take them.
I thought that there was going to be something more rewarding than that. But the actual activity is spacey, and you're collecting laurels,
Zone A. Enemy claimed zone C.
strengthening your character compared to any other, and enjoying the
Zone
activity.
B captured.
So there we
You
are.
have advantage.
Look at them there. They didn't see me, I don't think. One of them did see me. Didn't bother.
You captured Zone C. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone B lost. Zone C lost.
Fusion grenade.
Zone B captured. You have advantage.
This is really odd. Gone the wrong way there.
Zone A lost.
It really kind of perturbs me to see that other people's grenades are much more powerful than mine, because I've used these solar grenades and they were nothing. They were just like a complete waste of time.
You're falling behind.
It looks like the other team is like really fast.
Zone A captured. You have zone advantage.
This didn't really turn out too well. Who's firing the artillery, I wonder? Where did we go?
Your enemy can't kill if they're dead.
Well, really, really hard to eliminate, as you could see.
Zone B captured. You have advantage. Zone A lost. Zone B lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back. The enemy has gained ground, but it's not over.
It's not over yet.
You captured Zone A. 5 minutes. Zone B captured. You have advantage.
Sville. He's played against me already about 2 or 3 times today. Consecutive matches.
You captured Zone C. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold them. Zone A lost. Fight for vengeance. Take their lead from them.
That's quite good. That grenade did the job, really. Bounty complete. So that's probably to do with these grenades. They've not been performing too well. He was chasing me around. I've heard him now.
Your opponents are pulling away. Drag them back.
Well, 2 of them in there, hiding together. Okay.
Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone B lost.
We didn't capture the zone. Klein Mikkel is
Zone A captured. 3 minutes left.
on board, and I'm not playing against him, so that's quite good. Hard light, neither bomb. What? Hard to tell, really. Whatever was going on in there, we're losing again.
Zone C lost. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Zone advantage is ours, but I'm not excelling. And we are losing.
Zone B lost.
Looks like we are going to be losing. He's very hard to kill, that Moonchild. Much faster than me. And he's played against me many times today. Okay. At least something.
Zone A captured. You have zone advantage. 1 minute left.
Ah, where was he coming from? I didn't see anything.
Defeat comes for us all.
Defeat. Okay, 1 more match before the break. 150, 105. Well, that's a... Yeah, it wasn't really particularly good. Even Klein Mikkel had only 14 kills. Mind you, the other guys in there were that Moonchild was almost invincible. But he wasn't capturing many zones, as you could see. That's fine, because if you've got one person who's like leading the assault efforts and then others are capturing zones, it's fine. So he gets like, rakes up 30-35 kills, then that provides lots of points. But if others are doing the zones, then with power play they'll beef up on the number of points, and that's alright. So far so good today. Hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast and all the activity. It's been quite pacey, very, very breathless, you could say, relentless, and lots of fun to be had. So we'll do one more match and then quickly do some admin if at all possible, and then I'll have a break. I'll watch the news conference at 5, come back sometime in the evening with some more, but I don't think I'll be doing the Crucible in the evening. I'll be looking at Strikes and Gambit just to see whether those activities will provide me with some other bounties or diversity which is needed for Guardian games, because all of that activity is to be in those 3 areas. And I have to say I'm a bit curious, because I don't know what you've seen on these maps, I wasn't collecting any laurels. There were no laurels in there, and yesterday I was collecting hundreds of laurels and very few of those appear to have registered. So I don't really know whether it is a glitch, technical fault, or whether that is the way it needs to be, but certainly the issue was raised by staff writer of PC Gamer, who was doing exactly the same on Tuesday and Wednesday. Discovered that he collected many hundreds of laurels and hardly any registered, because his bounty, or his quests were showing like 0%, and it's not the case for me. I'm not having 0%, but it seems like really, really slow. Okay, I completed some bounties, so that's this Warlock Slayer, Solar Slayer, and Grenade Slayer, so that's all good. But you know what? One bounty is gone. $52 out of 100. 2 out of 5. There was also... What's happened to that bounty now? Look at this. Suddenly I have no... I don't get it. Points. 1 rather than 111, 150. Combatants. $56, so we've gone from what? 47, 46 to 56, 10%. So we are progressing, but really, really not very fast. Okay, all good. And enjoyable, of course. I just really wonder, if you're considering Destiny 2 in the long run, will this sort of activity keep everyone busy and occupied? I doubt it. Because obviously we've done Gambit Strikes and Crucible many more times before. They're always enjoyable to play, but there needs to be an extra add-on RPG content with some rewards or something new that will be drawing more interest, because otherwise it's just repeating itself, right? On the other hand, considering the global lockdown and the fact that hardly anybody is at their workplace, this might have been also an attempt to keep everyone occupied to a degree, whilst the vast majority of Bungie's staff are not really manning the posts. So that's the other option in there. We need to be realistic about all that is possible at present. As you know, this week has been dedicated to Destiny. We've had Destiny literally from Monday to Friday, so it's 5 days of Destiny. Hope you guys enjoy. Oh, look at that, that's really awesome. Fantastic outfits.
Show your enemy this place belongs to you
Okay,
now.
so this is the last match before my break, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it, and hopefully the match is going to be as good as expected. So what's this? Where is it?
Enemy claimed Zone A. Zone C captured. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. You're in the lead.
It's actually good to see that we have a number of people in who were not there beforehand. There's absolutely no way he could have done it without throwing knife, right? So he just literally threw this knife towards my path, and then due to the lag I got killed. Well, this is always risky, you know, when you're collecting your heavy ammunition, because you've got to be standing there for a little while.
2 for 1.
I got him though.
Zone C lost.
I got him though, but it was a bit tricky. It's very close range.
Zone A captured. You have advantage.
Okay, we have advantage. Says Lord Shax.
You're getting stronger as you fight. I love it.
I thought there was somebody from behind. It's not even to be taken.
A fire team that fights together stays together.
That was useful,
You captured Zone C. Power
because
play.
the other guy
Keep
could
the
have really
pressure on.
hit me badly. But that outfit is incredible. Look at that outfit he's got. It's a Rodney, is it? Really terrific.
Zone B lost. Zone A lost. One after another. Zone B captured. You're breaking them. You have advantage.
Looks like the other team is really lagging even more than me. What else?
You captured Zone A. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold them. Zone C lost. Zone B lost. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
I don't believe that neither of them really got hit properly. That's bad. Yeah, he's magnificent. He must have purchased this. Well, that was a possibility. This was like literally close range, so
5 minutes left. Keep it up. Zone B lost.
that's reasonable. that's possible.
Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone A lost. You captured Zone B. You
Okay.
have zone advantage.
I was a bit slow with my grenades. The grenade could have done well there, because all of them are together.
Zone C lost. You captured Zone A. You have zone advantage.
Zone advantage. Where was he? Oh, he must have been down here. Oh, there he is.
Zone A lost. Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours. Three minutes. Hold strong,
Grenades.
and this battle is yours.
Okay. Let's just excel with a number of those opponents. They're all sticking together, as you could see.
Zone A captured. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold them.
Where did I go?
Zone C lost. I could not ask for a better victory.
Okay. So that will really bring us to the end of our afternoon broadcast. But thanks very much for watching and for enjoying the Crucible and all that we were doing here with our teammates. It's been good fun. Guardian Games this was. And then I will carry on with some activity later today. So on that note, I thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel as well as Guardian Games here and Destiny 2. Thank you for supporting the developer, providing us with a lot of interesting activity, and then we'll resume later in the day. On that note, I wish you all a very, very good afternoon.